Wakey, wakey, sunshine. You still have one more game to go. I love the sound of drunks suffering in the morning. Now get to it, the audience is waiting.
Well, guys, this is it. Welcome to Awesome Video Game Memories, where we talk about awesome memories about video games. I'm Ryan, and the game we're finally talking about is Zelda's Adventure for the CDI. No more, Critic! No more! So, Zelda's Adventure is the final game in this unholy trilogy of Zelda CDI games. And did it go out with a bang? Did this entire CDI unholy shitness go out with a bang? Well, let's find out. So, unlike the previous two games, Zelda the Wand of Gamelon and Link the Faces of Evil, Zelda's Adventure actually uses real actors this time to portray Zelda and somebody else. Who is this guy? Who the hell is he? Well, this is Gaspra, played by sound engineer of the game, Marc Andrade, and voiced by somebody else. So, basically, Marc Andrade, he played the character, but he didn't voice the character because he was the music composer of the game. Okay? Well, ADR happens all the time. And this time, Link gets kidnapped again. Oh my god, Link got kidnapped like 2 games ago in Zelda the Wand of Gamelon, so we gotta get him back. Like, Link, you can't stay put, man. You're about becoming as bad as Zelda. Well, I guess in the CDI world, Link is more of the damsel in distress. Don't you agree? So Zelda has to go to the land of Tolemac. Gee, I wonder if that's backwards for something. Zelda, maybe you should give King Arthur a call and something like that to help you find Link. I think King Arthur is not too far from here. And Zelda has to traverse through the land of Tolemac to get Celestial Stones. Nope, not Triforce pieces, not crystals, Celestial Stones. Well, at least that kind of sounds Zelda-ish. So the direction, look, and style of this game are very, very different than the previous 2 games. Very, very less goofy, more realistic. Yes, the game takes that long to load between screens. I am not kidding. I did not slow this footage down. My CDI did not glitch. This is how long it takes from Zelda to traverse from one screen to another. I gotta admit, the graphics do look kinda nice, even though they don't really fit the Zelda universe, but they look okay for what they are. There's not much I could say about that. And rather than borrowing the action platforming from Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, the game actually goes back to the top-down view of the first Zelda and Zelda Link to the Past, and actually, the game actually has very smooth controls. I will admit that. Yes, Zelda's Adventure has the smoothest controls out of the 3 games. And that's saying a lot, because believe me, you really need smooth controls for this game. And just like the rest of the Zelda games, you're given no clue, no hints on what to do, where to go, and you can actually miss your weapon at the beginning, because believe me, when I first played this, I totally missed the wand that you had to get at the beginning, which is kind of your main weapon throughout the game. And of course, you're kind of limited to where you can go in this game until you get certain items, just like a real Zelda game, so basically, this is the closest we have to a real Zelda game out of the 3 games on this console. And to call these Zelda games is a bit of an overstatement. And surprisingly, there's very little to no music in this game, which is very surprising, because the previous 2 games had a lot of, music, which was pretty decent but not great, but this game is devoid of tunes. So no iconic Zelda theme, no generic elevator music, it's just Zelda's Adventure, a quiet stroll through the land of Tolemac. But just like the 2 previous games, yes, the hit detection in this game is very brutal, and if you get sandwiched between 2 enemies, you're dead. Like, no matter how many hearts you get, and you don't actually get a lot of hearts in this game, unlike the previous games, you're dead. You gotta really be careful, especially when you're in the dungeons. Now, the good news is the dungeons are actually relatively straightforward. There are a couple of rooms where you can get lost in, but nothing too, crazy that you have to traverse. But there are a lot of times in this game where you can fall down in pits and have to start all over again. Believe me, it's a fucking pain in the ass. And you really don't want to traverse through a lot of these dungeons longer than you really have to. And a lot of the times you can't beat a lot of these enemies with just your normal wand. Yeah, like you have to switch up weapons a bit. And like you get this cool lance, but it barely works against most of the enemies. Like some enemies have to be defeated in different ways, and you don't get any clues on which weapons you have to use to beat enemies. Like you have to use like guides from GameFAQs or YouTube in order to beat this game, like I had to. And actually, the good thing about this game, which is probably one of the best things about this game, is when you lose to the bosses in the dungeons, you actually start off in the room before the bosses, which is really convenient, because having to traverse through these freaking dungeons, like over and over again, is a nightmare. Believe me, like holy crap. Like especially when you get to that dungeon where you have to fight the mummies, and the mummies can really do a lot of damage on you. And it's kind of funny that, you know, Gaspra gets a lot of screen time in this game, a lot of speaking lines. But Zelda, you know, the main character of this game, of basically the entire series that's named after her, does not get any speaking lines. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, Zelda should have speaking lines in this game. Like, they hired an actress to play her, like, for the full motion video, but she doesn't get to talk. I guess this is kind of Philip's way of cutting corners, you know. And once you traverse all the dungeons in Tolemac and get all the celestial stones, holy crap, what's happening? Oh shit, it's Ganon, and holy crap, Ganon actually looks menacing like in Diablo. But Ganon's pattern is actually pretty easy to decipher. Like, he just disappears all over the place just like he does in the first Zelda game, and you just hit him and just avoid his shots, and he's actually not that hard like he is in the previous two games. He's actually a little easier than he is in Zelda, The Wand of Gamelon, and Link Faces of Evil. Like, you actually have a fighting chance against Ganon in this game. And then once you beat Ganon, you rescue budget cosplay Link, and the game is over, and that's it. You're done with Zelda's adventure. You're done with all the freaking Zelda games on the CDI. Yay! Finally! So is Zelda's adventure the worst game out of the bunch? Actually, not really, but it actually, in my opinion, is probably the least memorable of the games, because the game isn't exactly super terrible, and it's not exactly super goofy. I mean, it does have a lot of its goofy moments with the NPCs. Gaspra is an okay character. You know, Zelda doesn't have all these silly one-liners. The graphics take a little bit more of a realistic look, but the game overall isn't very goofy. It's actually a pretty responsive game for the most part, well, aside from the really slow scrolling of screens. And also, you know, the dungeons are relatively straightforward. Tolemac, it's not that hard to get lost in, because you're so limited to where you can go until you get like certain items like the raft and the ladder. And like certain items are like incredibly useless that you don't really need to use. And most enemies can be defeated with the wand, although you need other weapons to defeat other enemies, but at least most of the bosses can be defeated with the wand. So that's it. We finally end the Zelda trilogy on the CDI. And wow, and like I said before, these games have to be played to be believed. I mean, you have to play these games. Like, every reviewer pretty much says, yeah, these are the worst games ever, but I recommend you actually play them. And I know there's like a shit ton of licensing rights, and I do admit, if these games came out on the Nintendo Switch, I would buy them. I would play through them again. I would stream them on Twitch. These games really need to be played, because they're such a strange relic in time that these weird Zelda games came out for the Philips CDI, you know, under the rules that they had with Nintendo and their failed CD add-on. But hey, you know what? I actually recommend playing these games. And if you're wondering where to get this wonderful game, I got some good and bad news for you. The good news is it's available on eBay. The bad news is it's very expensive. Like, this game alone is over $300. You have to pay a lot for this game. I literally paid over $300 for this game. So, was it worth it? Well, just to make this video for you guys and the Nostalgia Critic forcing me to, yeah, it was worth it. It was worth every fucking penny. Oh my god, please don't get this game. Well, no, get this game, get it, but whatever. Alright, so that wraps up this episode of Awesome Video Game Memories about Zelda's Adventure. And if you have any memories about this game, make sure to leave those in the comments below. Take care. So, Critic, are we good now? Can I not review any crappy CDI games?
Let me think. I've thought about it, and... Dance! Oh, I will never get tired of this! Oh, I think I want it myself!
Hey guys, Ryan here, and I hope you enjoyed that video. And I'd like to give another big thanks to Doug Walker, aka the Nostalgia Critic. Make sure to check out his channel and his videos at channelawesome.com. And also, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, especially subscribe, and make sure to click on that notification bell so you know when we release new videos. And if you want to see us play games live on Twitch, you can watch us at twitch.tv/BattleGeekPlus, and make sure to follow us and check our schedule to see what games we're playing, and make sure to subscribe so you can get some awesome perks. This video is sponsored by Elgato Gaming. For the best in video game capture and streaming, you can purchase your own with the affiliate links down below.
Hey, you guys having fun here? Well, help support our efforts at patreon.com/BattleGeekPlus.
Dance! 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 Oh, I will never get tired of this! I'm insane! Okay.